Salutations viewers, this is George from Ireland. Anyway, this video is about the accents of the British Isles. So I've decided to start in the most logical place because maps start at the north and they work their way down south. So we're going to start in Scotland, right? And we're going to start in the best place in Scotland, and that's Glasgow, not Glasgow, alright? So Glasgow is the biggest city in Scotland. And it's the second city of the British Empire. You might remember that if you're a Rangers fan. The pride of the north, alright? It's not too far north in Scotland, but it's a bit far north in the UK. Say you, Jimmy, alright, who you doing, Paul? No bod, and yourself? No bod, I can't believe it. What you doing on the weekend? A bit of football on telly. Do you ken hen? I'm no 43, though people say it. I like being among young folk. You're no a wee people bosom. Alright? Now, there are other Scottish accents from Eald Reekie. Edinburgh is no too far from Glasgow. And there's a particular accent to look out for, and that one's Morningside. Morningside is the home of Scottish gentility. Perhaps the best living exponent of Morningside is Sir Malcolm Rifkind. There's a bit of vanity and self-righteousness and intellectual pretension in the accent. Sir Alex Salmond, he's no from Morningside, but he might have said unpardonable folly. They don't quite have the courage to actually try to sound like they went to public school, but they're somewhat suppressing their Scottish nature, and they even go so far as to pronounce the T in Scottish. You may well be an advocate if you have this accent. But then that takes me up to another accent, and that's what Aberdeen. Aberdeen, what a team. We're read, you're dead, we're bouncing on your head, we're Aberdeen. But they didn't all speak like that, because some of them go down to the Bonaccord Centre, you know, on Union Street. If you don't mind speaking to me, a minker like me. So I think the obvious thing is to go to England now. And there's some people, they come from Newcastle and the northeast of England, like. They're speaking Geordie, even if they're from Northumberland or Sunderland. Whether there's a Markham or a Tackham, it's all the same to me, like. It's day 3 in the Big Brother house, and they's all in the lounge having their toast. Kaylee Ann from Gateshead is going to the diary room. She wants to go home because she's a Geordie lass, and then she can go doon the tune for some posh nosh like and get totally assholed, and then maybe she can make her appearance on Geordie Shore. She's some canny tackle. Why, aye, man. I think now we'll be having to go to Yorkshire, because the problem is with the Geordie accent, it sometimes becomes a little bit Welsh or Pakistani. Hey up, now is in Yorkshire. How you doing? Here in God's own county. Alright, you know from around here. I can tell by the way they speaks. But they don't say thee or thou anymore. That's just James Herriot in, you know, shouldn't happen to a vet and all that. All creatures great and small. So wipe their bloody feet when they come in here. It's more of a North Yorkshire accent. I got quite a mild one, see, whether it's Leeds or something. But if there's from more like the very west of the county, there's closer to Lancashire. Anyway, we don't like Lancashire too much because the Roses match. You know, heard of the Wars of the Roses? You are supposed to be teaching this, children. We's the White Rose County, there's the Red Rose County. We's playing cricket against them every year. We're not too keen on word the. Take dog for walking park. Even if it's a poofter name like Fleur for dog, you have to call it out like. How are you doing, Mr. O'Malley? Anyway, we don't like that bloody Tory government down in London. We do whatever we bloody well like. Anyway, I think we'd better go and have a look at Manchester. Manchester, smashing great, super terrific. I'm a mank, not a scally. This is my old house at home. I'm up for it. Are you up for it? Alright, everything is the best from Manchester, especially a girl with the name of Claire. I don't like them southern softies. Let's go watch Red Devils at Old Trafford. Liverpool. So I got a funny fach from Verzacheling. The people of Liverpool, they're sometimes called Scousers. And Scouserland, well, Scouse comes from the soup, the Scouse. Alright, I'm on the rob. I gotta get a Chrissy Prezzy for my Uncle Bear. That was a speech by the Lord Mayor of Liverpool. Should be Derek Dechziaten. West Derby's not in Derbyshire, it's in Liverpool. Then we take the ferry across the Mersey to the Wirral, but it's still Liverpool. This is the poshest fucking house in the whole of Merseyside.
And don't buy the Sun newspaper, what they said about our boys, our fans playing against Sheffield Wednesday, and the Hillsborough disaster. We don't pronounce the T at the end of the word, just like Dublin.
In Northampton, they say, "Hey up, my duck." There's nothing gay about that. Older man saying that to younger man. Not much to say. Don't talk much. A complete nowhere place. Middle of England. Not northern or southern.
Anyway, now it's a Cockney wanker. The Cockneys come from London, innit? London town, it's capital of the world. A Cockney's born to the sound of Bow bells, strictly speaking. That means the East End of London, area called Bow, where there's Bow Church. You can see a bit of the Cockney accent got into the Aussie accent. Anyway, it's fucking outrageous, the state of this nation. Bloody hell! Call blimey, that's what we say when we're surprised, innit? Sometimes you've heard it in the Labour Party, with Ken Livingstone, thanking you, all the Tories are fascists. And although I vote Labour, I'm a bit of a fascist myself. Anyway, we like swearing a bit like the Scouts are saying fuck and cunt and scum, especially in South London, innit? South is S-A-R-F, innit? South, not North. London, it's like L-A-A-H-N-D-A-A-H-N. And that's what you need to have the knowledge to drive a black cab around London. If he's a working class Londoner, you're speaking Cockney. And most of the whole of South East England sounding like this. Then there's Essex. Essex is a bit more manly, like going to the Duke's Experience nightclub in Chelmsford. Have you got enough gold round your neck, darling? We's kind of Cockneys, but you know, on speed.
Then there's the West Country accent. They's meant to speak real slow. They's meant to be real slow when they comes up from Somerset where the cider apples grow. This is a pirate accent. Why are pirates called accents? Why are pirates called pirates? Because they are on the International Talk Like a Pirate Day. This accent went to the southern part of the United States, and that's why they talks real slow. I like beans though, makes I fart. When I farts I knows I's Elsie. Don't like cheese though, bungs I up. And Newton Abbott. Right, that's enough of Devon and Dorset and Cornwall, and now we'd better go across the water to Wales. You want to hear a Welsh accent, do you? Well, it's very rhythmical, melodic like, is always going up and down. I love Jesus, and all the beautiful things he's made for us, especially the ganja. All right, me lovely, bio. Can you lend me £10, please? I got to go back to Wales, see? And when I'm in Cardiff, I won't be speaking any Welsh, only English, though I'm not English. You may remember the MP used to represent the town, and there was a lot of controversy when he was trying to disrupt the apartheid football team coming here, or was it rugby? Anyway, we better go across the border, over Offa's Dyke into England, to Birmingham. Brummy, the Brummies are the people of Birmingham, in effect it comprises the whole of the West Midlands. This accent is especially evident in the name I mine. Anyway, it's one of the most detested accents in the whole of the United Kingdom. One example of it would be the late John Enoch Powell, though it was kind of educated out of him at King Edward's School, Birmingham, and Cambridge. He would say, like the Roman, I am filled with foreboding. I see the Tiber foaming with much blood. We must be mad, literally mad, a nation busily engaged in building up our own funeral pyre. And once he was approached by a young man who said, I'm a supporter of yours. He said, do I receive financial donations from you? No. Do I receive letters of support from you? No. What is the nature of your support? Or are you one of the Peaky Blinders? But there are some middle-class women from southern England, and they have a general middle-class accent, and it's ever so nice, especially if you check into a B&B, but it's not quite received pronunciation or posh. It's not Cockney, it's not from the southwest, it could be anywhere really, a little bit languorous. But I think after this, we're going to have to go across the water to Ireland, where they don't pronounce the T quite so strongly. Alright, Neil, wait in Dublin. And the Dublin accent is best introduced by the phrase, are yous going down there, Neil? Which is, are yous going down there, Neil? Yous, that's you when there's more than one of yous. Especially if yous are working on Clan Brussels Stroud and a place for aromatherapy. What? Is that? A cat? A rat? Or bat? We don't pronounce the T at the end of the word like, it's just like in Liverpool, which is just opposite us in England like, but we are not English, we're Irish, and that's totally different. So, will you stop speaking Irish, will you Brits? Or you Aegis or what? Anyway, that's the working class accent of Dublin. And now we're going to look like at Don't speak Don't speak is right the other end of Dublin. It's a Dublin 4 accent. It's for people who are, media types or financial. There's something about the sheer awfulness of this accent. Thank God I don't speak like that. It emerged around the year 2000, the Celtic Tiger one got rich. You know what I'm talking about. Those girls are just horrible. And they don't quite have the courage to try to pretend to sound English or American. It's just somewhere in between, and it's nauseous.
Then there's Belfast, sticking out. Sounds like a hubristic duck. My sister's got hair that's fur, and people think that fur is fur, like an animal's fur. The tips are fine. They are so cool, really cool, like in Port Glenone, where I come from, in County Antrim. How's about you? That's how are you? How you doing? How's about you? Sticking out. Alright, that's enough of Belfast. Now we go across to Derry, and it's never Londonderry. It's kind of softer, though. It was a kind of a violent city in the 70s. It was a UK city of culture a few years ago, but we don't like to think that we're in the UK. So people of a Republican mindset might speak with a softer Derry accent, alright, with a certain, how to put it, a whorl on the R, like Republican people of Tyrone. And who was it? Morton McGuinness was perhaps the best example of that. Donegal is just the same to me. Then was going on to Monaghan. Monaghan is kind of a nowhere place, South Ulster, North Leinster. Nobody comes from there. Anyway, Mark Cherney's father was from there. Arias Tompin. I used to love the girls Tompin and Chaucer Blaney when I was young, and there was acid house parties around there. Then there's Cork accent, the posh Cork accent. Cork is the finest city in Ireland, and we're not from Dublin at all. Cork is far superior, especially if you're in Montanouty, snooty, Monty, naughty. It's like the place in Rome, Montenotte is marvellous. Things here are utterly marvellous, especially in the Royal Cork Yacht Club. But the Cork working class from Cork City are rather different.
Like Micheál Martin's an example that he's going to be teaching around next time, going out from Ballyfihan, you'd be going to Towners Cross every day to see the GAA game, even if there's a polo there, huh? Well, let's get out of it. Come on, So, especially if you're going to the Cork International Festival of Jazz, you'll notice they speak in a very high pitch. Boy or girl, even if you're old, especially in Knocknaheeny.
Then there's the West Cork accent and Kerry. I can't quite do it, especially in Adrigole, where the Kerryman stuck the penny. Kerry, County Kerry is real Ireland, Southwest Ireland, the kingdom, on the lonely Bannistrand. I would say you was wasted in teaching. That's enough of the accents of Ireland.